Şanlıurfa, pronounced often simply known as Urfa or Al-Ruha, in ancient times Edessa, is a city with 561,465 inhabitants in southeastern Turkey, and the capital of Şanlıurfa province. It is a city with a primarily Arabic and Kurdish population. Urfa is situated on a plain about 80 kilometers east of the Euphrates River. Urfa's climate features extremely hot, dry summers and cool, moist winters. Name: the city has been known by many names in history. Ara in Armenian, Urha in Syriac, Al-Ruha in Arabic, and Omicron Rho Alpha, Aura in Greek. For a while during the rule of Antiochus IV Epiphanes it was named Calari or Antiochia on the Kalirha. During Byzantine rule it was named Justinopolis. Prior to Turkish rule, it was often best known by the name given it by the Seleucids, Delta Epsilon Sigma Sigma Alpha Edessa. Şanlı means great, glorious, dignified in Turkish, and Urfa was officially renamed Şanlıurfa by the Turkish Kurd National Assembly in 1984, in recognition of the local resistance in the Turkish War of Independence. The title was achieved following repeated requests by the city's members of parliament, desirous to earn a title similar to those of neighboring cities Gaziantep and Kahramanmaraş. History: the history of Şanlıurfa is recorded from the 4th century BC, but may date back at least to 9000 BC, when there is ample evidence for the surrounding sites at Duru, Harran and Nivali Kori. Within the further area of the city are 3 Neolithic sites known: Göbekli Tepe, Göktepe, and the city itself, where the life-sized limestone Urfa statue was found during an excavation in Balıklıgöl. The city was one of several in the upper Euphrates-Tigris basin, the Fertile Crescent where agriculture began. According to Jewish and Muslim tradition, Urfa is Ur-Kasdim, the hometown of Abraham. This identification was disputed by Leonard Woolley, the excavator of the Sumerian city of Ur in 1927, and scholars remain divided on the issue. Urfa is also one of several cities that have traditions associated with Job. For the Armenians, Urfa is considered a holy place since it is believed that the Armenian alphabet was invented there. Urfa was conquered repeatedly throughout history, and has been dominated by many civilizations, including the Ebla, Akkadians, Sumerians, Babylonians, Hittites, Armenians, Hurrimatanus, Assyrians, Chaldeans, Medes, Persians, ancient Macedonians, Seleucids, Aramaeans, Osmanlis, Romans, Sassanids, Byzantines, and Crusaders. City of Edessa. Although the site of Urfa has been inhabited since prehistoric times, the modern city was founded in 304 BC by Seleucus I Nicator and named after the ancient capital of Macedonia. In the late 2nd century, as the Seleucid dynasty disintegrated, it became the capital of the Nabatean Abgar dynasty, which was successively a Parthian, Armenian, and Roman clan-state and eventually a Roman province. Its location on the eastern frontier of the empire meant it was frequently conquered during periods when the Byzantine central government was weak, and for centuries, it was alternately conquered by Arab, Byzantine, Armenian, Turkish rulers. In 1098, the Crusader Baldwin of Boulogne induced the final Armenian ruler to adopt him and then seized power, establishing the first Crusader state known as the County of Edessa and imposing Latin Christianity on the Greek Orthodox and Armenian Apostolic majority of the population. Age of Islam. Islam had first arrived in Urfa around 638 AD, when the region surrendered to the Rashidun army without resisting, and had become a significant presence under the Ayyubids, Seljuks. In 1144, the Crusader state fell to the Turkish Abbasid general Zengui, who had most of the Christian inhabitants slaughtered together with the Latin archbishop, and the subsequent Second Crusade failed failed to recapture the city. Subsequently, Urfa was ruled by Zangnids, Ayyubids, Sultanate of Rum, Ilkhanids, Mamluks, Agoyanlu and Safavids before Ottoman conquest in 1516. Under the Ottomans, Urfa was part of the Aleppo Vilayet. The area became a center of trade in cotton, leather, and jewelry. There was a small but ancient Jewish community in Urfa, with a population of about 1,000 by the 19th century. Most of the Jews emigrated in 1896, fleeing the Hamidian massacres, and settling mainly in Aleppo, Tiberias and Jerusalem. There were 3 Christian communities: Syriac, Armenian, and Latin. According to Lord Kinross, 8,000 Armenians were massacred in Urfa in 1895. The last Neo-Aramaic Christians left in 1924 and went to Aleppo. First World War and after. In 1914, Urfa was estimated to have 75,000 inhabitants, 45,000 Muslims, 25,000 Armenians and 5,000 Syriac, Assyrian Christians. There was also a Jewish presence in the town. During the First World War, Urfa was a site of the Armenian and Assyrian genocides, beginning in August 1915. By the end of the war, the entire Christian population had been killed, had fled, or was in hiding. The British occupation of the city of Urfa started de facto on 7 March 1919 and officially de jure as of 24 March 1919, and lasted until 30 October 1919. French forces took over the next day and lasted until the 11th of April 1920, when they were defeated by local resistance forces before the formal declaration of the Republic of Turkey on the 23rd of April 1920. The French retreat from the city of Urfa was conducted under an agreement reached between the occupying forces and the representatives of the local forces, commanded by Captain Ali Said Bey, assigned from Ankara. The withdrawal was meant to take place peacefully, but was disrupted by an ambush on the French units by regular Turkish and Kurdish Muslim forces at the Sabik Pass on the way to Syria, leading to 296 casualties among the French, and even more among the ambushers. Modern Şanlıurfa presents stark contrasts between its old and new quarters. Politics. It is a stronghold of the governing Justice and Development Party. However, in the 2009 local elections, the city elected an independent Ahmet Esref Fakir Baba as mayor. Cuisine. As the city of Urfa is deeply rooted in history, so its unique cuisine is an amalgamation of the cuisines of the many civilizations that have ruled in Urfa. Dishes carry names in Kurdish, Arabic, Armenian, Syriac, and Turkish, and are often prepared in a spicy manner. It is widely believed that Urfa is the birthplace of many dishes, including raw kibbeh, that, according to the legend, was crafted by the Prophet Abraham from ingredients he had at hand. Many vegetables are used in the Urfa cuisine, such as the isiya, the kenya, and the isot, the legendary local red capsicum that is a smaller and darker cultivar of the Aleppo pepper that takes a purplish-black hue when dried and cured. Unlike most of the Turkish cities that use different versions of regular butter in the regional cuisine, Urfa is, together with Antep, Mardin and Siirt, a big user of clarified butter, made exclusively from sheep's milk, called locally Urfa Yagi. Transport. Şanlıurfa Gap Airport is located about 34 kilometers northeast of the city and has direct flights to Istanbul, Ankara and Izmir. Demographics. With roughly 500,000 Syrian refugees currently living in Urfa, there have been a number of protests against the growing Syrian population. One of the biggest clans is Clan of Musavi. Climate. Şanlıurfa has a hot summer Mediterranean climate. Şanlıurfa is very hot during the summer months. Temperatures in the height of summer usually reach 39 degrees Celsius. Rainfall is almost non-existent during the summer months. Winters are cool and wet. Frost is common and there is sporadic snowfall. Spring and autumn are mild and also wet. Places of interest. Urfa Castle, built in antiquity. The current walls were constructed by the Abbasids in 814 AD. The legendary pool of sacred fish where Abraham was thrown into the fire by Nimrod. The pool is in the courtyard of the Mosque of Halil-ur-Rahman, built by the Ayyubids in 1211 and now surrounded by the attractive Gol-Basa gardens designed by architect Meri Kara Aslan. The courtyard is where the fishes thrive. A local legend says seeing a white fish will open the door to the heavens. Rizvriya Mosque, a more recent Ottoman mosque, adjoining the Balaki Gol complex. Ain Zaliha, a source nearby the historical center, named after Zuleika, a follower of Abraham. The Great Mosque of Urfa was built in 1170, on the site of a Christian church the Arabs called the Red Church, probably incorporating some Roman masonry. Contemporary tradition at the site identifies the well of the mosque as that into which the towel, a burial cloth of Jesus, was thrown. In the south wall of the Medrese adjoining the mosque is the fountain of Firouz Bey. Ruins of the ancient city walls. 8 Turkish baths built in the Ottoman period. The traditional Urfa houses were split into sections for family and visitors. There is an example open to the public next to the post office in the district of Kara Maiden. The Temple of Navali Kori, Neolithic settlement dating back to 8000 BC, now buried under the waters behind the Ataturk Dam, with some artifacts relocated above the waterline. Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple, dated 10th millennium BC. Gallery. Famous people. Matthew of Edessa, historian. Yusuf Nabi, 17th century Ottoman poet. Aysel Ozarkin, Turkish-British writer, born 1942. Ibrahim Tatlıs's, famous arabesque singer. Bekir Koskan, columnist in Sözcü. Ahmet Ozan, singer of Turkish Sufi music, and movie actor. Muslim Gürses, Turkish singer. Seyal Taner, Turkish pop singer.